Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us. We're here today at Good Things 2024 in Melbourne. Jimmy and I are speaking with the one and only Kerry King. Kerry, thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Good to be here.
Our pleasure to have you here, my friend. So you've wrapped up a couple of side shows already with Mastodon in Sydney and Melbourne, mate. So it's not a nice sort of way to ease into the tour, just doing a couple of shows like that before hitting a festival like this.
It's going to make the festival extremely easy because we were playing like 75 minutes and today we're playing 50.
Oh, right.
So we won't even break a sweat.
How's it feel to be back in Australia, mate? It's been a few years for you.
I love Australia, dude. Yeah, I haven't been here since 2019. Very good to be back. I wish we could come here more often, actually, but
you're welcome anytime.
Hey,
keep coming back.
That means they're going to put out more music, so
no one's going to stop you. So how does it feel like these days playing shows like as a new solo project as opposed to like a multi-generational legacy act like Slayer is? Like, is there a different vibe there for you?
There's definitely a difference. It's kind of got the feeling of, when we started Slayer, kind of. Except I have a whole career in my wake. You know what I mean?
You've learned the hard lessons already.
Yeah, the excitement is every bit like when Slayer came out. We're all super excited to be playing together. Me and Mark hang out every day off, so it's just getting used to your new friends. Really, I mean, the music's business as usual. It's a lot of fun. The turnouts have been great. The response has been great. So, we're just digging it.
Yep. And outside of the shows, how's like your day-to-day life now? Is it different that you're in your own project and not in this big kind of, I say commercial monster? I mean that in a nice way, but how's that changed?
It's just, in a nutshell, it's just coming in with a mindset that I'm not in charge. Because with Slayer, I'm always in charge. So I've been in charge for the last, at least 25 years when we, started headlining and just continued to headline. But, I never had a big attitude anyway. So it's again, business as usual, but, I don't come in expecting, everything to be, like platinum, so to speak. If things aren't exactly right, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just we're here to play, and once we do that, we'll have some drinks and get the hell out.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question I had about like production values between, the Slayer shows and what you're doing now. So is it more raw kind of thing now because it is fresh?
Very, very raw because everything we do in Slayer costs a lot of money. And fire being the most expensive and the biggest difference. We certainly can't afford to be rolling with pyro, although we have pyro today, ironically. So yeah, the much bigger show, interchangeable backdrops and shit burning on stage. We got a backdrop or two, and like I said, today we have fire, but for the other two we don't. And we're just up there raging.
Yeah, I actually got a mate a little while ago showed me some really good footage he had of you at the River Stage years ago, playing Raining Blood, and it was raining and you had the red lights on. It literally looked like it was raining blood.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often that happens.
Yeah. That wasn't on my list. I just thought I'd bring that. I was thinking about the production stuff, but you recently had a switch from BC Rich to Dean Guitars. How's that going for you?
Excellent. They're now that I've been there since about 18 or 19, we've made some new shapes, we made some new designs, we made some new inlay designs for the fretboard, and I'm impressed with the quality. And I've met the actual dude that runs the wood machine, so I've been to the factory. There was a change in the upper echelon in Dean, and I just said, listen, I want to make sure the guys that were making my guitars still are, because they do excellent stuff. So I'm super happy to be there.
Did you have to adjust your playing style at all with the new guitars, or did they pretty well fine-tune them to what you had before?
They're essentially copies of each other. Fretboards are not fretboard, but the neck width and stuff is, I'm meticulous like this. I've taken micrometers and done neck measurements and said, make it like that. I didn't do that with Dean. I just said, this feels about right.
Yeah, there's a certain feel you need, right? And anything different is just a bit odd.
It's stuff you get used to. It's like playing a Kaler or a Floyd Rose. You know? You don't go back and forth. You start with one and you stick with it.
Yeah, agreed. I'll throw it back to you, Chris, because I'm hogging all the tech
No worries
questions.
at all. He's been dying for the speech here, so I'm just going to sit back and let him go. So, mate, you released your debut album From Hell I Rise back in May. Like, you knew you were going to have a pre-existing audience, but was it overall received better than you expected it, or?
I was pretty sure about the content, you know. We'd worked on it, me and Paul, for a long, long time. I mean, some of the stuff, you'd be amazed how long I keep riffs. Like Residue, I think the body of that song is over 20 years old.
Right.
But I just didn't have the friends to marry it to make it a good song. But I knew I liked it, so I just kept it around. I think that's been around since the last time Paul was in the band.
Here we are.
And here it finally came out. So, you know, that's an odd case, but there was leftovers from Repentless. There's stuff I've written since Repentless. And a lot of stuff left over from Hell I Rise is going to make up most of the record too, whenever we get to that. But, you know, I knew I'd play it for some close friends and that won't lie to me.
That's what you need, then.
Yeah, and I felt really strong about it, and all the feedback I got from my friends was, you don't know how good this is. And I'm like, well, I think it's pretty good, but, you know, well, time will tell.
Well, we had our first argument over who was going to get to review it, and we both came to the same conclusion that it is fan-fucking-tastic, bro. Like, it is a slab of metal fucking goodness. Really good album, man.
That makes me happy, you know. I just got a email or a text the other day that we were the only metal band on Rolling Stone's Top 100.
Nice,
I'm
congratulations.
like, that's pretty cool.
That's fucking awesome. Fly the flag.
I think you made an awesome choice with vocalist too, with Mark.
Right? And
it's
the
great.
best thing we did was keep that all quiet.
Yeah.
Until we announced it when we wanted to announce it, because the speculation on the internet was crazy.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, everybody would say Phil was going to do it.
Yeah.
And I knew ages ago Phil wasn't going to do it, but I didn't tell anybody.
Keep that fire going.
Good to keep the hype going. So with having like Mark in the band, like he's such a kind of multifaceted vocalist, like he can go all over the place. Is there any kind of possible songwriting opportunities there to maybe use some more of his melodic side?
I'm totally open to writing with Phil, with whoever has music or lyric ideas. It's just with all my downtime for record 1, I had so much shit, you know, and that might spill over to record 2 being all mine as well. I'm not totalitarian like that. I want that to be the case. That's the furthest thing from the truth. So whenever we start working on record 2, if anybody's got ideas, I'm definitely going to listen to them. Mark, the one thing about Mark, before he got the gig, he was doing demos with us for like 8-9 months.
Right.
Just because he's my friend. And, you know, I started at the first session, I'm like, listen, if we're going to run with this, we got to recreate you. I want people to hear you sing on my album and not know it's you. And I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I think you did really good.
Fantastic.
Really
we
well.
are going to have to wind it up because we're getting stuff thrown at us from off stage. But thanks very much for your time, Kerry. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, mate. Thank
Great
you.
to be here.
Thanks, Kerry.